Welcome back, everybody. In today's video on Fellowship of Fans, we will be looking through all the leaks, rumors, and updates about dwarves in the upcoming Amazon series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, coming out September 2nd, 2022. With that being said, today's video will include some spoilers. I'm your host, Farking Runesong, and without further ado, let's get into all the Dwarven leaks. First leak. One of our first leaks at Fellowship of Fans was that there will be a Dwarven mine collapse scene where Durin III falls down a massive mine shaft and it topples over on him, but he barely survives and makes it out with his life. This comes from episode 2 of the Second Age show. Pairing that leak with another Dwarven leak we reported in November, there will be a King Durin in the show who is also a father and has a son called Durin as well. Of course, time compression was later confirmed by the showrunners, but my personal thoughts on this is that Durin III needs to die early on in the show so that he can sort of pass the mantle of the title to the next dwarf, which should be Durin IV, because we absolutely should not have two Durins alive at the same time. So while it was reported that he does survive the mine collapse, in my head, he dies from it. I can get on board with a lot of changes for the sake of compelling TV, and I understand that there is time compression, but I still have a hard time wrapping my head around the show possibly showing two Durins on screen at the same time. Next up, we have a leak that has actually been confirmed via Amazon by way of Vanity Fair, and we do have a bit more context. Robert Aramayo, who is an elf, most likely Elrond, was on the Dwarven sets and filmed scenes with the dwarves in the first 2 episodes of Season 1, directed by J.A. Bayona. Then we also learned later in the video that Owain Arthur, who is playing Durin IV, filmed scenes with Robert Aramayo, and this leak came from the Second Age show, Episode 8. In the trailer we saw this shot of Robert Aramayo with an axe, but we have further context where the Dwarf King submits a challenge of strength and endurance to Elrond. All the dwarves want Elrond's blood because he originally is thought to be a thief. They hold a rock-breaking competition. Each person takes a turn striking a blow. It will be edited throughout the episode going on and on. In the end, both are knackered. Elrond in the end submits, kneels, and lays his axe down. Everyone cheers and the elf is let go. This comes from the Second Age show, episode 27. This text is a bit of an oddity to me. Here it says that the Dwarf King submits a challenge of strength and endurance to Elrond. Is this Durin IV now as a king, and he's the one challenging Elrond? Or is this Durin III challenging Elrond to a competition where he has to defeat Durin IV? Because we do know that it is Durin IV who wins the rock-breaking competition. We've seen this battle taking place in the trailer itself. And the most fascinating bit of this leak is that this happens because Elrond is accused of being a thief. What would he have stolen, or what would he be accused of stealing from the dwarves that would cause all this angst? To the next rumor. Casting ourselves back to that earlier mineshaft collapse with King Durin, we further learn the Dwarven Queen sings a sad lament with noble dwarves holding fire-filled vessels to commemorate the dead from the cave collapse where many dwarves died. The scenes were directed by J.A. Bayona, which means they are from the first 2 episodes. As sad as dwarves dying is, I don't want that to be the focus here. The attention needs to be on Disa singing a sad song of lament. I fully expect her to use this song as a scene-stealing event and have people talking. Tolkien fans love song, and it's a huge part of the lore. It has been hinted at by Vanity Fair that laments are not the only reason dwarves sing songs, and that Disa may also be singing to let her voice reverb off the stones and help guide the dwarves with where they should dig and possibly avoid delving too deeply. Is this the same song, and some people are mining and digging while the nobles are holding fire-filled vessels to honor the dead? Or are we getting multiple songs from Disa? And I hope it's both, actually. I hope she sings multiple songs, and I hope the songs have different meaning to different ranks of dwarves. Dwarves are great peoples, and while they understand that there is a time to mourn the losses of death, they also understand that the world doesn't stop spinning when people die, and work still needs to get done. Hashtag Dwarven work ethic. On other controversial leak, we have There will be Dwarven women in Season 1 of Lord of the Rings on Prime, but they won't have beards. Now, I understand there are people who believe Disa's mutton chops are not enough facial hair, and I understand that our information that we have been passed along also says the dwarf women won't have beards, but I refuse to stop believing that this is true. Disa's mutton chops can absolutely grow as the seasons go on, and she is currently the only female dwarf that we have seen. This could mean that there are dwarf women we haven't seen yet that have full beards, but maybe not every single female dwarf has one. And if that's the case, I can probably live with that. We also finally found out who is playing Durin III, who will be the King Durin. Quote, Peter Mullen will be playing King Durin, who in the first episode is involved in a major mine collapse scene, barely making it out with his life, but many dwarves die. Disa sings a sad lament. Whether this is Disa singing scene in the trailer, it is yet to be confirmed. End quote. This leak has a bit of repeat information from earlier, but the part that absolutely was new is that Peter Mullen will be playing King Durin III and is the character in question during the mine collapse. He is a phenomenal actor, and I'm really confident he is going to kill it in his role. I just hope, unfortunately for him, that he is killed in his role early on during the show. Hashtag one Durin a day keeps the lore purist complaints away. Now we're nearing the end, and regarding Dwarven costumes, we know, quote, the dwarves have amazing dragon scale armor, with some being as heavy as 15 to 20 kilograms on the extras. Most of the extras were male, 40 to 60 years old as well. And this league does excite me a little bit. I love the idea of dragon scale armor or like elf skin armor, especially when it's as heavy as they're talking about and it sounds sturdy and that it's practical and not like a CGI thing. And 15 to 20 kilograms translates to roughly 40 plus pounds in American. That is a lot of extra weight to wear, especially if you were just an extra. The final leak that we have for the dwarves today is that some scenes from the first 2 episodes will show dwarves climbing up a mountain ravine. Also, on the dwarf sets, there is an underground pub set. And these 2 aren't really groundbreaking rumors, but they're just a bit of extra information that we had on the idea of there being an underground pub for the dwarves to go drinking at. That just seems to go hand in hand with dwarven culture, so that's cool that they have that. As far as the dwarves climbing up the mountain ravine during the first 2 episodes, I wonder if this is just giving the casual viewers some shots to show that dwarves are comfortable above and below rocks, like the nomadic hunters are just for like cinematography, or if there's actually some sort of like special significance in showing this shot. Finally, rather than giving you lads and lasses a standard here are my final thoughts, I decided I'm gonna write Amazon a quick little poem to go over my feelings. And it goes like this. Dear Amazon, my dwarven queen has no beard. You have 2 Durins alive at the same time, and to me that seems weird. A mine will collapse, some dwarves will die, but if Durin isn't one of them, there will be tears in this dwarf's eyes. And not because of Disa or her song of lament, it'll be for not simply twisting the lore, that means the lore is broken and bent. If it's too late to fix this, and you ask, how do we redeem ourselves? I need to see in all future seasons, dwarves beating up on elves. You can still tell a solid story, even if there is time compression. If you butcher my beloved dwarves, I am going to go back into a depression. You have chosen great actors, and you have thus far nailed the look. I am honestly excited for their portrayal, even if you aren't sticking 100% to the books. And that's my little poem to Amazon and you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate all of the views. Let us know in the comments below what is your favorite Dwarven leak or rumor, and also let us know which ones you aren't really excited or aren't really sure about. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything that is Fellowship of Fans, and I will catch you guys on the next one.